what is your thought on the dollar's relationship with Bitcoin?
Okay, so usually the dollar the dollar rising is bad for Bitcoin.
Right.
Bitcoin is going up in a deflationary environment, which to me, I can hardly wrap my head around. I can get the idea of gold going up in a deflationary environment because gold is a hedge against the financial collapse, and it's the central banks buying gold. I don't know, these people think that it's their $5,000 gold that they have in their safe that's doing anything. The central banks are buying billions and billions of dollars of gold and putting it in their vaults. That's what's causing the gold to go up. But Bitcoin, I, I don't get it, and it's beyond what I would
It's
expect.
almost in lockstep. I mean, even just looking at a rolling correlation with Bitcoin and the US dollar, we're at almost a 35% correlation, which is pretty fascinating right now. It's not inversely correlated at the moment.
So it goes up with easing and liquidity and high risk assets, and then it goes up in deflationary environment. Maybe the crypto bros are right that Bitcoin is like the best asset of all time. Um, Although I don't know, trading the leverage you can get on forex and on futures feels pretty good. Sometimes those trades feel much better than holding Bitcoin. So I don't know what to think, but the dollar is what I'm going to be watching. If the dollar
Mhm.
continues to rise, like higher highs, higher lows, if that's what's going to happen, then essentially guaranteed we're going to get massive inflation, and people won't know what to make of it because again, it's not inflation, it's deflation, and people will use the wrong words, the wrong terms, and we're going to see a bunch of people say the wrong things in the news. And if that happens, you want to get as many dollars as possible. Not only as an American, as abroad, there is no better trade for the average non-US citizen than freaking hold American dollars. What are you doing? Hold American dollars as many as you can. Everyone's going to want those.
Another interesting divergence is the global liquidity index has been pulling back since September, 30th of September, while the Bitcoin price is rallying past its all-time highs.
Right. Well, I have I don't know if your chart's showing it, but my charts are suggesting we get a pullback in Bitcoin pretty soon. Like we're at on the 12-hour RSI, we're like overbought.
Mhm.
Um we're let me just share my chart here real quick.
My preferred method of measuring overbought, oversold conditions, in this case overbought conditions, is the MACD from Alex Spriglu. We're not quite there at what I would consider the high end of this trend. However, these last 2 days have looked pretty weak. You know, once we broke above the high of 74.3, the very strong candle on November 6th, but these last 2 trading days have looked pretty weak. We only have a couple hours left in the session.
That's right. And I take my favorite trades. I mean, I never go long when RSI is high, like ever.
Mhm.
And I take a look at the 12-hour, and at the 12-hour, I mean, we've been overbought since November 6th. So I see no reason why the Bitcoin price doesn't fall to my assumption here. I don't have my numbers here, but I don't think we fall like crazy far down. I think we fall like basically to 73,000 to continue this trend up, and then we move. And I don't really anticipate any catalyst happening by the end of the year. So I'm waiting for a little pullback, and then I trade with 50x leverage. So then I get back in.
That makes sense. Capture that short-term move. Well, this is definitely fascinating. I mean, we've been covering these relationships several times now on these episodes, and it's been fascinating to see these two specific divergences: the global liquidity not really lining up with our expectations here. I mean, we did see that winding up of global liquidity that led to support where we wanted to see support and sort of a move upward in Bitcoin. But now with this pullback and dollar correlating with Bitcoin, it's a very interesting change in market sentiment. Some part of it makes me wonder if this is really just momentum at play rather than the underlying fundamentals or macro
It's
fundamentals.
exactly that.
Yeah,
That's
and
exactly
that
what it is.
could change the trajectory a bit for the short term.
Well, because before we were seeing the dollar move and then Bitcoin move, and
Mhm.
now Bitcoin is moving before the dollar, and so there seems to be this lag effect that's happening. I actually haven't measured how long it's taking, but I can no longer look at the dollar to give me an indication of what's. I used to look at the dollar the last 24 hours, and it would tell me what happened to Bitcoin in the next 24 hours. That trade doesn't even work anymore. So
yeah, that's what I recall, which is why I wanted your opinion on what was going on there between the two.